Yup. We got him there.
My name is Anthony McGee, and I am a pilot of United Airlines based in Newark, New Jersey, flying the Boeing 737 series. Today, I'm in West Africa, Liberia. It is so surreal because this is where I first fell in love with aviation. This is where my story starts, from a very humble beginning. Nevertheless, I'm here today with aviation professionals who are pilots, flight attendants, and aircraft mechanics. These professionals will be sharing their passion with these young men and women. And hopefully, by sharing their stories, these young men and women will be propelled to go after what they want to do in life.
My trip to Liberia was truly an amazing experience. Delivering a message of hope and spending time with the children, seeing their faces light up with their beautiful smiles, was heartwarming and unforgettable. I'm grateful and humbled to have been a part of this incredible journey. Our team of aviation professionals were outstanding. I'd like to thank Anthony McGee and John Mbag for organizing this venture and look forward to joining them on future events.
I had the pleasure of flying with First Officer Anthony McGee, who was then based in San Francisco. On that flight, he shared with me something he's been doing for the last 5 years, going back to the continent of Africa, where he's from, and giving back to the children and people there. After watching the We Were Once Them video, the first thing I said was, where can I sign up? How do I get involved? I'm not originally from Africa, but I'm all about giving back. This job at United is one I've not taken for granted in my 33 years. I realized, what's the point of having a job that you love and you don't share it with others? I'm so blessed this was how I had my first experience.
Going to Liberia was not only a life-changing trip for me, but to have the opportunity to give back and share my experience and influence and inspire some girls to pursue their dreams, and they could understand that they can be anything they want has no price.
We were able to dedicate a NFA-approved simulator to the National Aviation Student Association of Liberia, NASAL, giving those brothers and sisters their first step within the aviation. We truly believe, the team and I, that the first step that were given to the new generation of the aviation leaders will propel them to the future. And Africa is heavily pregnant with talent. We would love everybody to support the journey and stay tuned to the next step.
My name is Anthony McGee, and I am a pilot with United Airlines based in Newark, New Jersey, flying the Boeing 737 series. Today, I'm in West Africa, Liberia. It is so surreal because this is where I first fell in love with aviation. This is where my story starts, from a very humble beginning. Nevertheless, I'm here today with aviation professionals who are pilots, flight attendants, and aircraft mechanics. These professionals will be sharing their passion with these young men and women. And hopefully, by sharing their stories, these young men and women will be propelled to go after what they want to do in life.
My trip to Liberia was truly an amazing experience. Delivering a message of hope and spending time with the children, seeing their faces light up with their beautiful smiles, was heartwarming and unforgettable. I'm grateful and humbled to have been a part of this incredible journey. Our team of aviation professionals were outstanding. I'd like to thank Anthony McGee and John Mbag for organizing this venture and look forward to joining them on future events.
I had the pleasure of flying with First Officer Anthony McGee, who was then based in San Francisco. On that flight, he shared with me something he's been doing for the last 5 years, going back to the continent of Africa, where he's from, and giving back to the children and people there. After watching the We Were Once Them video, the first thing I said was, where can I sign up? How do I get involved? I'm not originally from Africa, but I'm all about giving back. This job at United is one I've not taken for granted in my 33 years. I realized, what's the point of having a job that you love and you don't share it with others? I'm so blessed this was how I had my first experience.
Going to Liberia was not only a life-changing trip for me, but to have the opportunity to give back and share my experience and influence and inspire some girls to pursue their dreams, and they could understand that they can be anything they want has no price.
We were able to dedicate a NFA-approved simulator to the National Aviation Student Association of Liberia, NASAL, giving those brothers and sisters their first step within the aviation. We truly believe, the team and I that the first step that were given to the new generation of the aviation leaders will propel them to the future. And Africa is heavily pregnant with talent. We would love everybody to support the journey and stay tuned to the next step.
My name is Anthony McGee, and I am a pilot with United Airlines based in Newark, New Jersey, flying the Boeing 737 series. Today, I'm in West Africa, Liberia. It is so surreal because this is where I first fell in love with aviation. This is where my story starts, from a very humble beginning. Nevertheless, I'm here today with aviation professionals who are pilots, flight attendants, and aircraft mechanics. These professionals will be sharing their passion with these young men and women. And hopefully, by sharing their stories, these young men and women will be propelled to go after what they want to do in life.
My trip to Liberia was truly an amazing experience. Delivering a message of hope and spending time with the children, seeing their faces light up with their beautiful smiles, was heartwarming and unforgettable. I'm grateful and humbled to have been a part of this incredible journey. Our team of aviation professionals were outstanding. I'd like to thank Anthony McGee and John Mbag for organizing this venture and look forward to joining them on future events.
I had the pleasure of flying with First Officer Anthony McGee, who was then based in San Francisco. On that flight, he shared with me something he's been doing for the last 5 years, going back to the continent of Africa, where he's from, and giving back to the children and people there. After watching the We Were Once Them video, the first thing I said was, where can I sign up? How do I get involved? I'm not originally from Africa, but I'm all about giving back. This job at United is one I've not taken for granted in my 33 years. I realized, what's the point of having a job that you love and you don't share it with others? I'm so blessed this was how I had my first experience.
Going to Liberia was not only a life-changing trip for me, but to have the opportunity to give back and share my experience and influence and inspire some girls to pursue their dreams, and they could understand that they can be anything they want has no price.
We were able to dedicate a NFAA-approved simulator to the National Aviation Student Association of Liberia, NASAL, giving those brothers and sisters their first step within the aviation. We truly believe, the team and I, that the first step that were given to the new generation of the aviation leaders will propel them to the future. And Africa is heavily pregnant with talent. We would love everybody to support the journey and stay tuned to the next step.
Okay. Welcome everyone. Welcome to another edition. Today happens to be a very special edition, in fact, because today is around the world ally nation of the United States of America are joining them to celebrate or to remember the tragic attack of 9/11 that took place, that took over so many lives, all nationalities from around the world. So yes, we'll never forget, and we move on. So yes, today we have and rather more educative discussion to go with on Focal Talk today. And to do that, I have with me in the studios D. Dara Smith, the guy who and I started off doing ICT, but then it was no later. I saw a lot of good work from him around the within the aviation industry. And today here we are. You know, when he left the country, everything was just about Facebook, and I never thought that we would have interfaced again because back on campus we're really engaged with different sets of activities. But Darius had always been this inner fighter, so to have seen him navigate so quickly, it was a good one. But first and foremost, Darius, welcome to Focal Talk. This is where we have this kind of discussion. It's a cross-cutting conversation. So if you observe Focal Talk, you will get to realize that we talk politics, we talk social issues, educative issues. Yes, but it's all about being a part of the process. This is our own little way at Focal Online TV. Hopefully, to be a full-fledged media communication house very soon. This is our own way of contributing our own quota to the growth and development process of Liberia. So, welcome to our studios.
Thank you, Mr. Lafayette. So then got to be precise.
Yes, Darius, how did this all happen? You've been this very serious and very involved ICT students. I can recall numerous occasions where you hosted classes for the girls who were a bit left back, and then you just left all of them, and here you are into the aviation environment. Tell us first and foremost about that switch.
Okay, anyway, from campus, as you said,
Yeah.
you know, everybody have to have something on their belt as an added advantage with their career. So doing ICT, it was just an added advantage. That was my passion.
Oh wow!
Yes,
As much as you score all of those high points.
exactly, because it was a backup to my career that I'm pursuing. So
Okay.
being on ICT campus or within sorry, I almost said aviation, within the technology. I'm sorry, within the technology world or technology campus or tech campus, it's just a boost to my career. So leaving from ICT and entering into what I want to pursue as a career is just a plus for me. That wasn't difficult.
Was that an easy transition process for you?
It was tough, but I can say it was easy again.
But ICT aviation, there are a lot of linkages in between because by uniform identity, they are both technology related 100%.
Sure.
So how difficult? Explain the difficulty
Okay,
in there.
sure. With a difficult aspect, we talk about funding,
Okay.
cash flow. That's what made it difficult for me because career in aviation is not like a career within the ICT.
Yeah.
Career within the ICT is cost less,
Fileless.
far less. But within the aviation industry, it's a bucket full of money. So to transition from the ICT end to move forward to the aviation, you have to have a pocket full of $1 million or enough cash.
So looking at that, I know back on campus whenever there's a gossip about tuition fee about to go up, you see grumbling on campus.
Right.
But then you were able to go within the aviation fee. What opportunity unveiled itself financially,
Okay.
in as much as this is very expensive field. It's not inexpensive. It's not less expensive as
Right.
compared to ICT.
Right.
What opportunity unveiled itself that you were able to maximize to the best of your ability?
Okay, thank you again. The first opportunity I gave glory to one Mr. You may know him, or Mr. Dana Brewer, Dana S. Brewer. He was the general manager of CCL Cable Consultant of Liberia.
Okay.
He was a that visited our classes at SAS campus.
Yeah.
It was a semester that when I got sick and my mom got sick as well, I had to drop for school within the ICT industry. And being a good friend of mine, and he was serving as a mentor for me within the ICT area.
Yeah.
And he asked me, hey, Darius, what are you not in school this semester? And I told him, finance, I don't have the cash. Like out of money to go to school. And currently I'm like a crippled person right now. So he told me, I'm going to pay your fees back. Go back on campus, do your planning, and redo admission, and I paid the fees up with graduation. I said, thank you. But when I went home, I sat down and said, I see this is not my career, it's not my passion. Aviation is my passion. Let me discuss this with Mr. Brewer. And I went at his office. I said, sir, thank you for the opportunity, but this is not my passion. Anyway, this is what I want to do. I want to pursue a career, to be precisely, I want to become a pilot. He said, wow, that's good. Okay, do your research. Wherever you think that you can negotiate with, get the information, tell me, and let's get ball rolling from there. So I went back home, engaged the internet, did my research, and I noticed that within our West African setting, Nigeria could be a better place for me to start. Listen to the phone. I went to Mr. Brewer. I said, Mr. Brewer, this is it. I found a couple of schools within Lagos. I didn't know Lagos. I have never been to Lagos before. I have never traveled to Nigeria before. But then I said, okay, so I think Nigeria is a better start for me. He said, okay, how can you get this information? I said, I can travel over to Nigeria, get all of those actual information that I need, and we'll share it.
With someone just helping you, their goal is, let me try to educate a child, but first and foremost, they were looking at Liberia.
Right.
Your level of boldness and commitment and drive to what you want, you're able to go to him and say, Mr. Brewer,
yes, sir,
I want to obtain education, but first and foremost, the education I want to obtain is not in Liberia.
Correct.
But it is all over the world.
Right.
But most, what I think will be can fit your budget as though you were there at the time.
Right.
What I think can fit your budget is Nigeria, Lagos.
Exactly.
It has to do with a lot of discipline, boldness, and it takes a lot of education and self-confidence.
Sure.
We'll get back on the topic, right? But this is more like an educational talk.
Exactly.
Where did you develop that kind of confidence that you were able to face your fear, brace yourself, and go for just what you wanted?
The fear, firstly, I'm a person I've never known myself to take no as an answer.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one. Two, I've never seen taking a challenge or between me and my goal. For example, I want to reach to you there, but between two of us, there are many challenges to reach to you. So I don't see those challenges between us as an obstacle or as obstacles to stop me from reaching you. My point, I'm going to use these challenges that are between you and I as stepping stones to reach to you. So what I did is, I guess it's an inborn tendency within me. I engaged Mr. Brewer. I said, sir, this is it. And Mr. Brewer, being a very good man, said, Darius, do you want to do that? Do you understand the risks involved? Moving to a country that you have never been before? I said, sure, I understand. So I left Liberia. Guess how much dollars I left Liberia with?
How much?
I left Liberia with $200 United States dollars. Only without hotel reservation, without return ticket. Just 200 United States dollars with 100 naira.
It's good that this conversation is a 2-hour conversation. So it is interesting.
Very interesting.
It is very, very interesting because not just that you are able to face your fear, brace yourself, have good level of self-confidence and everything, but you took the risks.
Right.
Technically, I tell people the reason why a lot of us, I'm not taking myself up and out of this, the reason why a lot of us Liberians have not really explored life and really kind of realize our full potential is that Liberians are not one that's good with traveling.
Yeah.
By the time you people are discussing traveling, maybe you have a bucket full of family members. Do you know someone? So Liberia's most comfortable place to travel is the US.
Exactly.
Anything outside the US it has to, and that traveling outside the US is not one that they go online, they see something, they apply, or they sign up for tourist visa. That kind of traveling goes with a family member sending invitation. Right. So there's this perception that people have had now in life that the only way to travel America is for someone to send you invitation. Whereas no. The reason why people really do invitation is that these people want to know that, okay, while you are there, someone will be there, someone able to look out for you financially. Yeah. But on the other hand, if you can raise the money, set your time, and you can go for it.
Exactly.
How did you brace the risks as a Liberian man to go in the city of Lagos that, I mean, we all know the stories that come from Nigeria. When you hear people tell you about Nigeria, you just won't be rebuking who they or covering yourself. Blood of Jesus, blood of Jesus. So how?
Oh, my brother, I tell you for sure. The Bible says, sorry to be religious a little bit.
No, go ahead.
The Bible says, whatever you believe and put forth your faith and pray to God, present it to Him, He answers. So within that period of Mr. Brewer and I interaction, I went to God. I said, God, two things involved. You either do this for me or you don't do it anymore. So I told God about it in prayer. I engaged my mom, I engaged my person. I said, this is what I want to do. My mom bear a mother, but then also rest in peace. She was a bit afraid of the story, like you said, coming from Nigeria. You don't know nobody in Nigeria. Why are they going to do that? Why can't you try the US? So, mommy, the US is not in this picture right now. I'm talking about Nigeria. That I can go without a visa. I can stay for the length of time I want to stay and return whenever I want to return. So I went online. I engaged schools with a fear of no doubt.
So now let's come back to Mr. Brewer, right? Mm-hmm. Let's get back because this thing is very interesting. Mm-hmm. So you go online,
right.
You do the research,
right.
Everything is on track.
Right.
How did Mr. Brewer take the process moving
forward?
Good.
So Mr. Brewer took the process when he saw my commitment, when he saw that I'm not holding back my talk, I'm not taking back my talk to re-enter our city campus. When he saw that I was serious about what I want to do, I arrived in Nigeria, Lagos, at the hour of 11 p.m. midnight.
In a scary country.
In a scary country. Which I've never been before. So let me go. This is a trick I used to go to Nigeria. I'm going to say this. I went to Nigeria with just knowing a church in Nigeria, which is a Christian person. The blessing for me, at that time, it was the Christmas period. So many churches were having Christmas festival for youth and young adults globally. So I go on this flight. I landed in Nigeria at 11 p.m. with a mindset that I'm going to Christ Embassy to look for refuge to pursue my career.
You want to make me travel on Liberia?
Yeah, I went on this.
What you kind of like beating me to
that's what it is. That's me on flight with me. But actually, this is me. That's reality. I landed in Nigeria at that hour. Blessing for me, I met a guy on the flight. I told him, sir, I'm going to Christ Embassy. I've never been there before. I don't know that. Please direct me. And you, from one conversation to another, this guy being an injured, he guided me on the Atlanta at Christ Embassy gate.
Taurus.
5 feet tall.
Taurus. You are desperate. You always appear this quiet. You are.
Listen to the story.
Atlanta
at Christ Embassy gate. You know, in Liberia, our police do not carry firearms, right?
Yeah.
Not even a batu.
No.
Atlanta as some securities, private securities, police having firearms. So wow. So help me God. No retreat, no surrender. So I went to the guy told this security personnel saying he's here, you know, to engage with Christ Embassy, youth program, whatever. And he left me. He went by his business. So the securities told me that at this time there's no entrance for guests. So you gotta figure your way around until tomorrow morning you come. Wow, why am I going to sleep? Listen for me, the taxi driver who took us at the Christ Embassy gate, and he was so nice to me. He found within the Bible they say where Jesus was born in the manger.
Yeah.
He found a manger. That's how it's a manger, something like a squatting area. He found for my left, my head there. The next morning, this guy came, took me at the Christ Embassy gate, and blessing for me, I saw this brother who I take as my senior brother, one John Mori. He's a Nigerian. John Modi. He was my senior.
This Liberian boy is just out taking one race after another. All he want to know is
I must pursue my
goal.
Yeah. I met John Modi and told him I'm sorry why I'm in the country for with the favor of God. Every time I see it's just a favor of God. Because I could be killed, I would have been killed and buried with all my family knowing. talked to John Modi. I said, this is what I want to do. I showed a couple of schools I have contacted. I don't know them. And John talked with his parents. His parents been nice parents. They took me in as their own. I spent a year in Nigeria, 6 months straight within those people's house. I went to school at the Universal School of Aviation, where I served my entire aviation career. So with Mr. Brewer, when Mr. Brewer knew, because everything I did,
You updated
I
him.
updated him. Step-by-step information. When I landed in Lagos and told Mr. Brewer, I have landed and at this place and I have found a refuge home. Mr. Brewer called me and said, Darius, are you sure to confirm that it's my lesbian body talking? Is it true at email? I said, yes, sir, I am. I gave him the phone to the family members. They spoke. My mommy called. They spoke. They were satisfied.
Not many young people know about mentee, mentor, mentorship. So apart from the risks, the confidence, the everything, you continue to highlight one thing: the importance of being mentored, and the importance of professional people presenting themselves as mentors.
Correct.
There are a lot of professional people in our country, but most times people want to think that, people can always say Liberians are people with this hospitality and all of that. I think that's for outsiders. From my own understanding, I think in Liberia we are egocentric kind of people.
Right.
So you will find there are more professionals, but very more limited people professionals offering mentorship.
Correct.
So for the society to even propel is a very serious challenge. You go to Ghana, there are a whole lot of professionals who unveil themselves as mentors. It is funny now in Liberia that the young professionals are the ones who are even more at the front of mentorship than the older professionals who have refused over the period to be mentored. So the importance of unveiling yourself as a mentor was what Mr. Brewer took advantage of.
Exactly.
The importance of you presenting yourself as a mentee to go through mentorship afforded you the opportunity to be where you are today.
Exactly.
After all of those risks, where have you ended up within the aviation industry?
Okay, so currently, I can currently say that I'm a flight operation officer.
And what that means?
I would say flight dispatcher.
What that means?
I would say ground piloting. Okay, what that means, like the question is, before a flight takes off, there are so many things involved. It's not like two of us will get our car, drive, and leave our homes early morning, return. It's not like that. Before a car takes off, we do just leave. But before an aircraft takes off, so many processes are involved. So with the flight operations officer or the flight dispatcher career, that's where you track everything that enters the flight.
Okay.
Or that's going to be put on the flight, like your flight plan. The flight operations officer or the flight dispatcher creates or prepares a flight plan. He or she makes sure that the fuel that is supposed to be used on that flight from point A to point B and a reserve for some contingency or emergency operations are also calculated perfectly. And the flight operations officer or the flight dispatcher is also responsible to know, okay, this aircraft is airworthy. This aircraft carries this number of passengers. And we cannot overload this aircraft because an aircraft must be loaded appropriately. So those are some of the jobs of a flight dispatcher. So that's my field right now.
You have all along a novice to play, have seen the captain who is sitting behind the plane as the most important person, but you've kind of made me understand that the person who bears the title flight operator is even more significant because they are the determiner of the flight moving or not moving.
Right.
How was your study in Nigeria?
With that study, it was done in Kenya.
Kenya?
Yes. Within Nigeria, I did.
From Nigeria, you went to Kenya?
Yes, from Nigeria.
Tell me about those two experiences. Or from Nigeria, you got back home?
Yeah.
So what did you learn in Nigeria?
In Nigeria, I learned some basic aviation operation, like basic ticketing, regulation of aviation, some aviation jargons. Just the basic of aviation as a whole. I learned that in
Nigeria. How did the opportunity unveil itself for Kenya?
For Kenya, when I came back, it come back to passion, mentorship, and then mentee. Mentee, rather. And when I came back, first in Nigeria, after completing my schooling within Nigeria, I found myself within Lagos. I found myself in Abuja for an internship period. And with the internship period, I felt the purpose of applying for a scholarship at the Liberian Ambassador's office, which is the Liberian Embassy in Abuja. I wrote to the ambassador, I said, Mr. Ambassador, I'm diaspora of Liberia interested in aviation. Can you offer me a scholarship, be it part-time or full-time? I'm not talking about abroad, a scholarship within Nigeria. He replied me and said, I'm sorry, young man, there's no scholarship with my office. That was all. Still not satisfied, being on the side of God, I engaged with some of the senior staff within the embassy. Like one Mr. Daniel Brewer again, not the first
Another Brewer.
Sorry,
what?
Daniel Rogers.
So what is it when you and Brewer? Is your destiny helper more like connected to the bees?
Actually, it was one Daniel Rogers.
Okay.
And one Mr. Sherman, Beatrice Sherman. And one Nat BJ. These are the two people I engaged. To be precise, than Mr. Daniel Rogers. Okay. I engaged Mr. Rogers. I said, sir, I had one opportunity from this embassy. How can I get it? Mr. Rogers told me that you got to go back home. To a talk with Mr. Sherman, Beatrice Sherman. Mr. Beatrice Sherman, once upon a time, was a flight attendant on Air Liberia before.
Okay.
So Mr. Sherman told me, go back home, look for one Captain Rennie Amy Sherman. He's so rest in peace. One Captain Rennie Amy Sherman, and one Captain Moses Weaver, and one Mr. Jeremiah. So all of these people I'm calling, their names, they're all pilots.
Okay.
Of Air Liberia. One is there now, Captain Misha is there. Captain Weaver is the deputy at La Bristol Authority, and Mr. Jeremiah, he's a lab as well.
Okay.
So I returned home with the contact of tracing these people. I've never met them before. I don't know them.
Mm-hmm.
But this was the direction. Do you know St. Barbecue? I said, yes, man. Go to St. Barbecue, ask for any Rennie Michel. Just have a Captain Michel, you find him. I said, wow. I returned home. Like I returned today, the following day.
You are there.
I went at St. Barbecue to look for one Captain Michel. I said, I don't know. So I went back to my mentor, Mr. Brewer. I said, Mr. Brewer, thank you for the time in Nigeria. Let me be grateful to Mr. Brewer. All of my fees paid in Nigeria was done in partnership with Mr. Brewer and my late mother.
Wow.
All of my fees paid. Both school fees, accommodation, and everything was done in partnership with my late mother and Mr. Daniel Brewer. So I returned home, went to CCL on Cross Street, where they call it Teco. In case Mr. Brewer said, I'm looking for this person, Captain Michel. Mr. Brewer being a very kind person, he has seen the commitment, the fire within my eyes. He said, okay, I can talk to somebody, I can get him Captain Michel. And that was it. I got Captain Michel's number. The same day I called Captain Michel. I said, sir, I'm Darius. I asked myself to him, I want to meet with you. So come on, young man. The same day, I met Captain at his office. I asked myself, and Captain said, okay, I'm going to help you. We're going to work as a team. Go home. What put people together? What do you want to do? Because with my company now, Captain Michel, the list Captain Michel is or was the owner of the Liberty Aviation Group.
Okay.
With office at the James Springs Spain Airport. So my company right now, we can help you, but not for you. So go home, go paint to people. Let's see how we can work as partners. I can mentor you. It's perfect. We'll get you somewhere. So I went home. I contacted a few of my friends. At that time, I didn't know about any airline ticketing schools in Liberia. So I contacted a few of my friends from Master today, from my church, Miracle there. Rufus Oyano, Sarah Scatter, Wedon Cody, and we're like 6 persons. I called 5 of my friends. I said, this is what I want to do. We started the National Aviation Students Association of Liberia, Incorporated, Nassau, at the Lighthouse Church, Seal of Abraham, along the Kilimanjaro Road, Junior 11, 2018. I went back to Captain Michel. I said, this is what I want to do. I appreciate it. I said, I've established an organization. We are 6, and this is what I want to do. So perfect. Let's start. We started from 2018 to now, and in 2019, an opportunity brought itself at the year-end program of our organization. A Kenyan guy who is also an aircraft mechanic saw the passion. His name is Engineer Samson Jallo. He was working with Golden Ferrarium Aviation at that time.
Okay.
Golden Ferrarium had an aviation arm because it had an aircraft, a Cessna 208 aircraft in Liberia. So Samson, being a very friendly guy, also with passion to push young people, although he's not a Liberian, he's a Kenyan.
Yeah.
He gave us the opportunity. He said, 2 persons choose any country you want to go, whatever you're going to do, a sponsor. So while looking for some countries that we go through to pursue our career, he said, okay, looking at the expenses within the aviation industry, you can do maybe flight operations and of course, we're getting somewhere. I went to Captain. I said, Captain, this is a fast-speed tool. My mind wasn't about traveling out of Liberia because it was still soon with the organization and they push the organization more. My captain said, my man, Miss Liberian,
Yeah.
my man, you must go. You got to go to serve as my eye because Captain was our board chairman. So the opportunity came, I had to travel to Kenya.
And there you had the opportunity to be schooled as a
flight dispatcher at the Think Aviation Training Center at Wilson Airport.
Wow.
In Nairobi.
And what's the duration for that kind of program?
The duration, because it's initial program I did, so the duration is it depends on the country and the school. But for me, it was a year duration. Other countries say 6 months, or say 1 year, 1 year and a half. So it depends.
So I know a lot of some people some people are following now, some people will follow later. Mm-hmm. What are some of the courses that you have to go through as a flight dispatcher? I mean,
let's come down.
Yeah, let's go down. Then we'll raise the tempo.
As a flight dispatcher, some of the courses involve navigation, talking about calculations. Some involve hemodynamics. The first, let's talk about hemodynamics.
Okay.
Within the aviation setting, and what I've learned, it's not like other field that you take a bottle of alcohol, you get yourself wasted, and you appear at the office. No. Within the aviation field, when you take even a bottle of alcohol, there are certain duration of time, not minutes, not seconds, hours, that must elapse before you return to office. So we talk about human performance, we talk about navigation, we talk about air law, we talk about aircraft general knowledge, we talk about radio telephony. Radio telephony is where from the aircraft to the air traffic controller or the tower, the communication between the tower and the aircraft, or let's say between the aircraft and the ground crew. Every communication in that area called a radio telephony. So we talk about radio telephony, we talk about aircraft general knowledge, air law, navigation, and other courses. There are like 9 different courses.
9
different courses. Wow. Yeah. And every course has its own objective that you must at least have a score of 70 for some countries, some 75. But at least it must be a score of 70.
What was this?
Always.
I know.
I can boldly say I was always doing A+, A, and B+. So all my grades, on my report, I had distinction, I had pass, I had credits.
Wow.
I can boldly say that I had distinction. I'm having distinction, credits, and pass on my career card.
From ICT to aviation,
correct.
The A's and the B's just went along with you.
Everything carries determination in a set mind, a focused mind.
Yeah, folks, if you're watching, today today is the Focal Talk. We have with us in studio D. Dara Smith. He's the founder and president of the National Aviation Student Association of Liberia Incorporated, Nassau. He is a flight dispatcher by carrier.
Right.
And more interestingly, we will get to that part, but just before we get there, we'll take a very short break and we'll come back. When we come back, we'll be talking about ever since his return, what has been his own workings in Liberia. We'll be back shortly.
My name is Anthony McGee, and I am a pilot with United Airlines based in Newark, New Jersey, flying the Boeing 737 series. Today, I'm in West Africa, Liberia. It is so surreal because this is where I first fell in love with aviation. This is where my story starts, from a very humble beginning. Nevertheless, I'm here today with aviation professionals who are pilots, flight attendants, and aircraft mechanics. These professionals will be sharing their passion with these young men and women. And hopefully, by sharing their stories, these young men and women will be propelled to go after what they want to do in life.
My trip to Liberia was truly an amazing experience. Delivering a message of hope and spending time with the children, seeing their faces light up with their beautiful smiles, was heartwarming and unforgettable. I'm grateful and humbled to have been a part of this incredible journey. Our team of aviation professionals were outstanding. I'd like to thank Anthony McGee and John Mbag for organizing this venture and look forward to joining them on future events.
I had the pleasure of flying with First Officer Anthony McGee, who was then based in San Francisco. On that flight, he shared with me something he's been doing for the last 5 years, going back to the continent of Africa, where he's from, and giving back to the children and people there. After watching the We Were Once Them video, the first thing I said was, where can I sign up? How do I get involved? I'm not originally from Africa, but I'm all about giving back. This job at United is one I've not taken for granted in my 33 years. I realized, what's the point of having a job that you love and you don't share it with others? I'm so blessed this was how I had my first experience.
Going to Liberia was not only a life-changing trip for me, but to have the opportunity to give back and share my experience and influence and inspire some girls to pursue their dreams, and they could understand that they can be anything they want has no price.
We were able to dedicate a NFA-approved simulator to the National Aviation Student Association of Liberia, NASAL, giving those brothers and sisters the first step within the aviation. We truly believe, the team and I, that the first step that were given to the new generation of the aviation leaders will propel them to the future. And Africa is heavily pregnant with talent. We would love everybody to support the journey and stay tuned to the next step.
So welcome back. If you just joining us, this is the Focal Talk. And in studios, I have with me D. Darius Smith, the founder and president of the National Aviation Students Association of Liberia Incorporated, NASAL, and he's a flight dispatcher by profession, a former ICT student. Yes, and it goes on. All through my time of knowing him, he's been someone of vigor. So, I mean, you've listened to his own story, where he is as the result of a high level of discipline and spirituality, and the willingness to be mentored. So, Darius, what are some of the challenges within the field of aviation that you encountered? As much as you embraced all of them and became this person of distinction in your studies, what are some of the challenges that you had to go through? Although you listed some of them that had to do with settling down, but in the institution, in the learning process itself, what were some of them?
The biggest challenge is cash.
The biggest challenge is cash.
Yes, it's cash.
And there's this perception every time you talk about the aviation field in Liberia, or you hear people express their interest about the aviation field. They only say you only get to hear one thing and one thing only. I want to be a pilot. And now today I've heard about flight operator, flight dispatcher, and all of these things. I mean, let's talk about that a little.
Okay, good. To start with your last statement, within the aviation industry, it's not only become a pilot. Like the documentary you just played, the food you just played.
And yeah, that's a whole talk around that
You are
documentary.
getting that?
Yes, that's a whole
So
talk
let me
around.
just give you a hint.
Yeah.
Within that stuff, you saw a lady with a sky blue, navy blue t-shirt. She's a mechanic, aircraft mechanic. She's not a pilot, but she's an aviator.
Okay.
Everybody within the aviation field are aviators, but aviation has a whole room of everything. You become an aviation lawyer. You know,
Aviation lawyer.
aviation lawyer.
Because it was during our studies. Not even mine. It was during our studies in ICT. Folk got to know that there's a whole thing around ICT law.
Correct.
That
it's the same with aviation.
You don't have to go to do all the technical things. You just need to know how to defend the profession
Right.
legally. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
It's the same thing. So, and if you can become an aviation lawyer, you become a dispatcher. For me, dispatcher is not my career. I want to settle down in. I want
Okay.
to become a captain on the fly a plane.
So,
I'm still pushing.
but can you fly? Can you fly?
I can do my best.
Okay.
I can
Okay.
do my best.
You don't want to talk about that now. No problem.
Because I'm good with a simulator, and I've been opportune to get on some training aircraft, some other caravans.
Okay.
But with
You are not there
captain,
yet.
I'm not there yet.
Okay.
So currently, I'm a dispatcher. That's why I speak about most.
Yeah.
So back to your question. You become an aviation lawyer. You become a dispatcher. You be an air traffic controller.
Okay.
And within the air traffic control area is broadening again.
There are
It's
other
broken.
subfields there.
There are other fields. You can become a ground operator. You can become a tower controller. You can become an area controller. You can become a brush controller. You can become an area approach and dispatcher controller. So within the aviation field, they are all broken into pieces.
So you are back in Liberia.
Right.
I mean, most times after all of these hurdles and challenges with studies, people just want to settle down, look for, because right now you are hot, you are juicy kick within the aviation industry that everyone wants to eat you. So that eating comes with you getting a very good job. And as a young man, I know for a very long time you've been the serious guy in terms of relationship. You could just decide to settle down, get your family, and live your life. But again, along the way, I didn't tell the public. As much as you were in Stars, you were engaged with other events in which you invited me at some point to speak and all of that.
Right.
And you had this engagement with the Emma Smith show
Correct.
through the Emma Smith Foundation. So
Yeah.
you always saw yourself doing different things. You returned with the same old mindset. Providing opportunities to other Liberians to kind of other young Liberian students to kind of get hold of the same old thing that you do. Why?
Right.
Why did you not just return to Liberia, get your life started after all of the struggles? Your mom passed away. You have so much family burden. Why is it now that you've come and I can see that you are the founder and president of the National Aviation Students Association of Liberia Incorporated, something that has not existed before. I stand to be corrected.
Sure.
And even though we do have outstanding pilots,
Right.
but there hasn't been any of this before.
Sure.
Why?
Why? Firstly, let me start with your previous Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
Why I returned and refused to try to build my own family instead of building a career for the youth of Liberia. Us come from the aspect of passion.
Okay.
Because actually, it breaks me down sometimes when you see us there. Go to some of those schools, you see young people of my age, you ain't got the men, you're older than me, flying aircrafts that carries like 200 passengers per flight, carried 400-500 passengers of my age. Some are even younger than my age or a little bit older than me. But with Liberia, it's the opposite. So I'm trying to change the perception of youth that upon graduating from high school, it's not only doing banking and finance, it's not only doing nursing, it's not only doing
sociology. And now everybody running to ICT.
Sorry, I'm not being disrespectful to those areas, but that's facts.
But when only these options are available, that's what people go for.
Exactly. However, you create those opportunities yourself, rather.
Okay.
So now I'm home. I'm trying to create a platform where young people envision aviation as another career instead of banking and finance.
So what's in it for students of Liberia? This institution, what is there in store for college students, high school students? What is in it there for them? Because I'm not quoting you. There are a lot of student associations. Right. I don't want to start naming names. I want our show to be uniform to what, because by the time I start naming names, probably I'll start saying certain things that are not necessary.
Exactly.
But there are a lot of student-based associations in Liberia that is not even meeting the needs of students in Liberia.
Okay.
So what is in it for the students of Liberia, and how have they started benefiting from it?
Good. What's in it for the students of Liberia is first opening the eyes of aviation to them. I repeat myself another way. Open the eyes of the students of the aviation field.
Okay.
That's the most important thing within it. Equally so, with our association or our organization, we make students understand the purpose of aviation. Let me start with this 50% or more of all airline school students within the city of Monrovia that I know of in Israel have benefited from this institution.
Okay.
Yeah. So those schools I'm talking about, those students, definitely the community getting schools like Sabina and Morris Community College, Lincoln, all of these.
That's the farthest people can go in the aviation industry in Nigeria.
Ticketing. Yeah. Customer service ticketing. Or they add another one they call tram. I don't know. So, so all of those students, 50% or more of them have benefited from this organization.
What benefits are you talking about specifically?
Good, that's where I was going. So our organization, what we do, areas that those schools are not reaching, that's where we take those students on the basis of free of charge. So what we first do, we create a network of mentorship. Like if I notice that Ernest, I use that as an example.
Yeah, go ahead. That's a good cause anyway. It's a good cause.
If I notice like you want to become an air traffic controller or a mechanic, we invite you over, we hear it from you. Are you sure this is what you want to do? And we'll connect you with a controller who's going to serve as a shepherd or will start to serve as a shepherd. But get my words right. Aviators are busy people. Aviators are not people that are 100% stationed, especially with the pilots and the flight attendants, and maybe the air traffic controllers. With the mechanics, they are stationed.
Okay.
Yes. So with my organization, we have offered firefighting training, and every training I'm going to talk about is a basic.
Okay.
We have offered firefighting training, airport safety, aircraft general knowledge, hangar. I will ask what is hangar. At your house.
No, that other people. I want to ask because by the time you talk about handcuff, it's closely related to the police handcuff, and so I want to know what is handcuff.
Okay, hangar at our various houses. We park our car within the house. We call garage. Right?
Okay.
At the airport, where the aircrafts or airplane park, we call them hangar. HANGAR.
Oh wow.
Hangar. So
another terminology, another vocabulary terminology to mine.
Yes. Okay, thank you. So all of those trainings we have given them free of charge. And there are many that have forgotten some. Even customer service that our sisters are all running into. If you ask a young lady right now, what do you want to do? I'm going to be a flight attendant. They have never seen a flight attendant before. They don't know the do's and don'ts of being a flight attendant. Nothing. So we again bring a flight attendant career in. We teach our young ladies as a flight attendant. We tell them, well, being a flight attendant, you must do this, you must do that, you must dress with this, you must be with this. So the basic of everything. And how do we do those workshops or those trainings? We involve professionals, licensed people who are within that field. Like with the maintenance aspect, let me give credits to this institution, the Liberty Aviation Group, who is serving like our parent company.
Yeah.
But we started Liberty Ace and have been first and only non-governmental organization that have been backing us up.
Okay.
So we started with Liberty Aviation Group. And Liberty Aviation Group with Samson Jalo, the guy I told you about that served as
the
one of
Kenyan,
our
the Kenyan
guy.
Yeah.
Was the first, they were the first set of people who started to do trainings for young people in the Republic of Liberia free of charge.
Through Nassau.
Through Nassau.
Okay.
Our first training ever done was at the ELW Academy.
Okay.
And with that training, I remember we hosted pretty close to 80 persons, young people, from all of the airline ticketing schools in Liberia.
So a lot of people, this I'm very certain that this conversation is going to reach many homes, right? Mm-hmm. So how is the scouting or vetting process done for students, high school students, people with already in some form of aviation and ticketing, all of that? How do you people go about the recruitment process that they are able to start to have, this idea about what they want to be? Like you said, you assign them to a shepherd. I know I just got this name today, a shepherd, and all of that. So first and foremost, how is the recruitment process like?
I used to work vetting.
And the vetting process, how is it like?
The vetting process, first of all, we just established this organization. We said to become a full-fledged member of our organization, you must be in one of these ticketing schools in Liberia, or you must have come from abroad with an aviation knowledge. So we started for pretty close to 3 years, 2 to 3 years rather, with dealing with only these airline ticketing schools. So all of these students, or those students that are in the airline ticketing schools, we first make them to understand one way or the other you are part of us, because that's our first requirement. You must be within the aviation industry, either a student or a professional. But now we're not talking about the professionals, we're talking about the students. So you must be in an airline ticketing school or an aviation school. That's the first vetting process.
Okay.
We noticed that our young people in the various high schools usually will have our workshops, have our seminars, we engage high school students. We always want to become a part of us. So let's do every rule.
Yes, should be an exception.
Exactly.
And yes, in project implementation, you basically have to be studying what is going well, what is not going well, how can you improve on this, and all of that. Yeah.
So we now created a network. We call it the High School Students Network, where we engage with schools, high schools. So with those high schools engaged, we understand they are still in secondary schools. They cannot do more than what they are doing now.
Yeah.
So we say, okay, we're going to bring you workshops, trainings, occasions that will enlighten your understanding that upon graduation, even if you cannot join our organization, you can pursue a career in the aviation industry by having workshops at the various campuses, by taking some of the professionals, both home and abroad. We invite those professionals, we engage those high schools and tell them about aviation career. Like from 2020, we started engaging high schools. From 2020 to now, we have engaged at least, I stand to be corrected, very close to 15 schools within the city of Monrovia and Plainsville.
Okay.
So all of those schools we have engaged with, those students from those schools, they are an associate member of our organization. We're talking about associate member because they are still in high school.
Okay.
So upon completion of high school, then we incorporate them Now, incorporation doesn't mean that they are full-fledged member of us, no. That means they are there to be mentor.
Mhm.
They are there to be brainstorm, to be shepherd. Let me use the word, to be shepherd. So our organization always in the process of shepherding young people. A testimony is with the Kennecha Senior High School is a government school.
Yeah, I'm looking at one of your testing from one Hina BMTO who said, NASA every day, all day. I'm grateful that I'm one of the beneficiaries of the scholarship.
Perfect.
Liberia doesn't have programs for emerging and passionate young aviators following life from Soul Clinic residents. That's how far your impact is.
All right.
Yes, we can go
And
on.
Theo Hina is my guy who hit out when
Kenya. So you are talking about this guy and he's here. Okay, that's a good one.
Sure. So NASA has a huge network both
Okay.
home and abroad. We are trying to build a network of professionals from abroad, not only Liberians, an international network. That's what we're trying to build. So with the school, back to the students aspect,
Yeah.
we mentor those schools. We have established our awareness as far as Broadfield,
Okay.
very close around Rex Mission. To be precise, around Rex in Broadfield City, we have established an awareness that's going to deal with those students from that end of Montserrat.
How did this idea come about? Because a lot of the interventions are very smart or beautiful interventions. People from Roma, Sorado and other counties are left out. How did NASA think so fast to engage Roma Sorado to that extent?
Good. First, it's not only rural Montserrat. Let me be fair with you.
Oh, wow.
In 2019, we started our engagement called advancing our career within the aviation industry. That's our project team.
Okay.
Engaging 5 counties. We engaged Grand Bassa County, Bomi, Cape Mount, and that of Montserrat. We engaged those counties with targeted schools, teaching those students about aviation. That yes, you are in other part of the country, but that doesn't matter. You cannot become an aviator. So we have engaged 5 counties with this aviation gospel language.
Okay. We'll get to the funding aspect of how it is, but I was looking at the documentary here and I saw a flight simulator. Is that simulator in Liberia or is it out of Liberia? Or I mean, what? Tell me, do you people have a simulator?
If it was yes, we do have a simulator within Liberia.
Simulator. Are you people renting a simulator, or do you people own a simulator, or is the Liberian government allowing you people to use their simulator for your training purposes? What I want to understand that part.
Surrounding simulator, let me first tell you how did you get the simulator?
Also, you people have you people own a simulator.
Correct.
Okay, that's what. So how did you people reach to the point of owning a simulator in Liberia?
Perfect. That simulator is a Glen Aviation Flight Training Simulator. It's an FAA approved. We'll talk about FAA within the aviation.
Yeah, anytime you use these aviation abbreviation, you have to break it down for all of us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll talk about FAA. It's the same we have the Liberian Civil Aviation Authority
Okay.
that regulates aviation operation within Liberia. So the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, is the body that regulates aviation operation within the US, within the United States. So that simulator is approved and licensed by the FAA from the US.
Okay.
So we got that simulator still on the aspect of commitment, on the aspect of passion, through some good brothers, some Liberians and other Africans. To be precise, let me name them.
Okay.
Let me give that credit.
Yeah.
We got that simulator through one Anthony McGee. He's a senior first officer at United Airlines. One John Oliver Moore. He's a Cameroonian, also a senior first officer at United Airlines. One Josh Matimba. He's a Zimbabwean senior first officer at Air Transport International. All of them based in the US. They came to Liberia through the influence of Mr. McGee, Anthony McGee, who is a Liberian ambassador to be precise,
Okay.
that flies with the United Airlines, or flies for the United Airlines.
Okay.
Anthony McGee, he and I established connection through the late Captain Ronnie A. Michel back to our roots.
Ah, the connection continues. The restless man on a mission.
Exactly. Just moving around trying to solve something somewhere. And McGee and I established this connection. We met in Liberia in 2018 ending, and we talk and say, okay, I'll see how we can partner, how we can serve as mentors. So, long story short, fast forward in 2020, McGee, Anthony McGee, Jean Oliver Moore, Josh Matima, Sylvain, a team of 4 guys. They came to Liberia, 2 Cameroonian, 1 Zimbabwean, 1 Liberian. Team of 4, all pilots. But then, Josh Matima was a captain, but now he's a first officer. We came to Liberia under the invitation of Nassar.
You people invited.
We invited them. We told them, come and mentor us. But listen, we don't have a cent to pay you. We don't have a cent to take care of your hotel reservation.
Which country were they from? Different countries.
No, every of them were based in the US.
You're calling them from the US and
Yes.
telling them you don't have a
We don't
dime
have
to
a
give.
dime to give them.
Not even
Not even
accommodation.
Not even water, sometimes accommodation. Not even a glass of water.
The guy is brave.
So,
I will be brave for you.
no, but that's reality, bro. We invited them
Mindset. Yeah.
through the influence of our Liberian brother, Anthony McGee. He talked with them. You remember they are all pilots, they have families. But it sounds funny, but it's serious.
No, you have an excellent negotiation skills.
I hope I can build up.
Oh yeah.
So we got this connection through Anthony McGee. They tell me, hey Darius, I'm coming back home to see how we can talk with myself. We're gonna have a day seminar and engage a few high schools. We want to talk with the high school students. 2020, they were here. We had a very grand program, 3 days program. They went back, fast forward, 2022, just in March of this year. In March of this year, Anthony McGee and the same thing with an addition, 4 guys with an addition of 6 other persons. This time around, they had 3 ladies, 2 flight attendants, and an aircraft, aircraft mechanic.
Yeah.
They returned to Liberia and donated a flight simulator free of charge to us.
What is the significance of a flight simulator?
The significance of flight simulator is to help you understand, to help you build your foundation of flying the machine itself. Every flight school around the globe owns at least a flight simulator or more. Because before you become a pilot, before you fly a plane, you must go through a ground school. So within a ground school, that's where the flight simulator theory and practical is placed. So the flight simulator serves as a ground school instrument. For example, within the RTC field.
Mm-hmm.
When I remember when we were in STARS, one of those things that were needed for every student was a laptop, right?
Yeah.
You must have a laptop
Oh, a simulator.
and a pen drive.
If you don't have them, you're not ICT student.
Exactly. So if you don't go to a ground school in the aviation field to become a pilot, you are not a pilot. Every pilot around the world built his or hours on the flight simulator. It can be any type of flight simulator. For us, we have the Glenn Aviation Flight Simulator.
How you spell that?
Glenn, G-L-E-I-M.
G-L-E-I-M. I want to get a view to see if I can even share with the audience and stuff like that.
Exactly. That's it right in front of you.
Okay, so this is the Glenn simulator right here.
Yes, and
Okay.
no, pretty close. Come down where you see the FAA approved. The next, just come a bit downward. You're going to see FAA approved.
Yeah, let's be talking. I'll be fine.
Yes.
Okay, FAA approved.
Right. That's the identical flight simulator we have within the country currently.
Okay.
So that flight simulator served as a training instrument for all those with interest in the flying industry. To be precise, who will become a pilot.
Uh-huh.
So now, talking about the regulation of it in Monrovia City. Currently speaking, our simulator is only approved by the FAA. And being approved by the FAA, you are free to use it under the FAA regulations. But when you bring it to Monrovia City, we felt it was necessary because every country has their own regulations of aviation instrument or materials. So we have contacted the Liberian Civil Aviation Authority and have invited them to come and inspect and approve this simulator for our usage. So currently speaking, we are in talks with the Liberian Civil Aviation Authority, but in the soonest possible time to have another, watch my words, another approval for this simulator usage in Liberia.
Okay.
And we are thinking in the soonest possible time to establish a ground school where it will be owned and operated by NASA. And this ground school, this I'm going to be strong on it. It's not going to be our regular ticketing schools in Liberia, no. This ground school is going to be where in careers that are needed within this aviation industry, some of them going to be taught. And we are going to give the basics of them with hands-on training. When talking about hands-on training, it's not like internship, no.
Okay, so for you people on online following, we've been talking about flight simulator and flight simulator. So what you are looking at on the screen is what Dyrus is talking about.
Exactly.
This is a flight simulator.
Right.
And I will go back since I was looking for it, and I was skipping out on some of his statements. Mm-hmm. We'll go back to talk about the significance of this flight simulator.
Okay. Sure. The significance of this flight simulator, as you said,
it will cover our face for a few minutes.
No problem.
Yeah.
The significance of this flight simulator, number one, is serve as a cardinal point for everyone with passion in the flying sector.
Okay.
The flying area or the flying sector of the industry holds that every pilot, come home in aviation, in the flying industry. Again, you have people who just go to flying school for fun. Some go to flying school to become to work on the farm, to spirit farm. Some go to flying school for a career of being an airline pilot. That's what I'm pushing for, to be an airline pilot. Some go to flying school to become a military pilot. So with this flight simulator, it serves as a ground school instrument that everyone within this industry that has interest in the flying field must pass through. It can be this identical flight simulator, it can be another flight simulator, but you must.
So using a flight simulator now is considered you going through the ground school.
Correct.
Okay.
And the ground school is a huge course of science here that has other ingredients. But having a flight simulator within a ground school for flying student is a must. And going through it, like, sorry to cut you off, every pilot run after one thing, which is building of hours. Building of the hours meaning you are getting more experienced. Like within the RCT field, the more you work,
your certification separates you from the other people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the more hours you have, the better chances you stand to get a better job.
Yeah.
So how do you build those hours? You start from the ground school. You start from the flight simulator.
Okay.
So the flight simulator first thing you have to build at least 150 hours, 200 hours, at least 250 hours at most within the ground school. So upon completion of the flight simulator, then your flight instructor invites you into the machine itself. Some of the machines is called Cessna 172, Cessna 162, Cessna 152. Those are training aircraft, small aircraft, small plane. That's why they use to train them.
Yeah,
but
you no plane. You giving me all the different types.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but first thing you must have completed and passed the ground school requirements before going on the training aircraft itself.
There's another aviation language I want you to make clear, and then we'll switch to another side of the discussion. You kept talking about captain and first officer, captain, first officer. What's the difference between first captain and first officer?
A captain and first officer, they do the same work, but the difference is rank.
So the first officer is higher than the captain?
No, the captain is higher than the first officer. Usually, when you look on the pilot's uniform, on their shoulders, or maybe on their jackets, some of the pilots you see 4 straps.
Yeah.
4. Those are captains. Those are airline transport pilot captains. 4 straps. So you're going to see 3 straps. Those are the senior first officer. Some are, like for the students, you see 2 straps.
2.
Some you see 1.
So by the time I see 2, I should know that student pilot carry me.
No, definitely you can't. They cannot allow a student pilot to fly a there's no
so
no
2,
company.
that person is learning.
Still learning.
Okay.
2 straps.
So now we learn.
Yes.
4,
2
captain.
Yes. 4 captains.
3, senior first officer.
Right.
So what's the staff for first officer?
First officer, there's no staff. There's 3 straps.
Or just 3 scraps?
Yes, first officer.
First officer.
The same job.
Okay.
But the difference is rank.
Duty in turn, there are more responsibilities.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Like some of the job of a captain is he or she operates the flight from point A to point B, meaning he or she responsible is answerable to whatever happens between point A to point B. The captain is responsible to answer every question. Yes. The senior first officer, the flight crew, as we're talking about flight crew, we're talking about the pilots, the flight attendants, those are flight
crew. I understand. It's just that offices break up into
pieces.
So minister, deputy, all of these things. Okay. So you may be aware that Team Andy is just about a few days from now will be hosting its first ever District 13 Academic Excellence Award, and FOCA is one of its partners. And what we try to do for that entire process is we are, a lot of students come out from high schools as Dukes, right?
Yeah.
So we designed this program where we have all of the Dukes together. And we run this program, series of activities, different. They all had to go through different activities, ranging from writing letters and to 2 different kinds of letters, formal, informal. They had to do math evaluation. They had to do case study papers. There were time they had to do. They did 2 different live presentations. One was in group, one was in person, and just all of that, right? And then we had to push them to do something around community service. Why am I bringing your attention to this? Okay. So during the warm-up process or the first sitting where I had the opportunity to engage each of them one-on-one, where we asked them about what are their aspirations, what each of them would like to be in life. Let me see if I can get the photo, but there was this girl. I will be checking for the photo to see if I can get that. But there was this girl I think she's Linda Sherrill from the Bishop Tew Institute. If I stand to be corrected, I will verify that as we're talking. Okay. When I asked her, what do you intend to do to be in life, the first thing she said was, after graduation, I want to be a pilot. Okay. And what came from the room was the rest of her other friends laughing.
Wow.
So I'm like, people stop. Nothing is impossible. This girl could be here saying that, there's what Liberia got for somebody to be a pilot? She said, what? We're not laughing like she can't be, but Liberia, what? So for a girl like Linda Sherrill, right? In an almost impossible environment of becoming a pilot, what can your institution offer for her? How? Because on that day, we're going to showcase each of them, and you are invited. Okay. We're going to showcase each of them. We're going to highlight each of them career or the field studied, the aspiring field studied, and all of that. Now graduation will end. She said that in that room that she's in this room that a lot of her friends laugh not at her,
Okay.
but the
The
environment.
environment is fun.
So I didn't see it as them bullying her,
No, no, no.
but I saw them frustrated. Even there was this girl who, there were several girls, I think 3 or 4 girls who expressed interest in becoming gynecologist.
Oh wow. That's
And because what happened, we asked them what you want to be.
okay.
And then the follow-up question to that was, what do you think will serve as a barrier from becoming what you want to be?
Right.
And there, even Linda admitted to the fact that this is number one, it is hugely expensive,
Right.
and number two, there is not any of such school in the Republic of Liberia.
Correct.
What can NASA offer to a girl like that, fresh out of high school? What is there in it for her? Linda may be listening or will listen later. Darius is here, the
Yeah.
president and founder of the Liberia Aviation
Association of
Student Association of Liberia South, who for the first time brought in a simulator, who had the opportunity to go Ghana, Kenya with one of another colleague, Hina, and so many other things. How can Linda be assured
Right.
that NASA is going to come there to her rescue?
Good. Thank you. I will tell you that NASA cannot do everything for Linda.
Uh-huh.
The first thing we got to understand firstly, if Linda, who is speaking, is she speaking from a point of passion or a point of interest?
Uh-huh.
Having a passion and being interested are two different things. So with our organization, we try to zero ourselves into dealing with people only with passion. So if we understand that if Linda is speaking from the point of being a passionate person within the aviation industry and also trying to conclude or getting the real picture that she actually wants to become a pilot. Remember, today Linda will tell us how to fly plane. But tomorrow we'll take her to maybe the industrial area. She sees all careers, all the operations going. She's like, I don't want to be a pilot. I want to be a controller.
But
a mechanic.
she might be persistent.
Perfect. That's what we need.
You need persistency.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if she's persistent, I repeat my words, if she's having the passion, I can tell Linda for sure, NASA can volunteer herself to start shepherding her. We invite Linda.
Why do people use the term shepherding? Shepherd.
The reason I'm saying shepherd, because I don't want to say give Linda the education
Because
for becoming a pilot.
I've heard you say a lot of shepherd.
Yes, because I believe being shepherd by the word shepherd is the appropriate thing.
This boy will use it. This boy
Come on.
shepherd. I mean, that's a very nice
Yeah,
word anyway.
So anyway, back to Linda's story.
Yeah.
Linda is welcome to come.
No, I'm just using
NASA.
Linda, right? There's so many Lindas
Yes, I
out
have
there.
interest in her.
There's so many Lindas out there,
Yeah.
as in so many females.
Right.
And there are so many Lavis out there, as in males,
Right.
who have the zest,
Right.
the passion
Right.
to venture into the aviation field.
Right.
So how can we, as Focal Online TV, establish the first connection where Linda is formally introduced to your institution, and the process starts from there?
So
Like I said, I'm talking on behalf of so many other people. So many people want to know, what is the first step of engaging NASA to take up from there?
the first step have already started
Okay.
by inviting us to come and discuss some of our activities as an institution. We take about NASA
Mhm.
on your platform. That's the first step. The next step, we could go into a partnership form wherein Focal TV and that of NASA will serve as partners to brainstorm on how can we push forward aviation within the Republic of
The
Liberia.
platform
That's
is available.
one.
Yeah.
That's one.
I don't think said partnership will have too many hitches.
Not at all.
It's very educational.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's one aspect. Next thing, I come back to Linda as an individual,
Okay.
not Linda as
Yeah.
female.
Linda as an individual.
Correct. Linda as an individual. I come back to her. So I'm giving Linda this invitation to come over to our office, our Skeleton office
Yeah.
at the James Brixton Airport, where our simulator is stationed at Liberty Aviation Group. And I'm going to introduce Linda to some other professional aviators. Maybe some mechanic. I'm going to introduce Linda actually to 2 aircraft mechanics. They are all graduates. 1 engineers, Hampton Kwe and engineer Alison Yaba. Both of them work for the Liberty Aviation Group. I'm going to introduce Linda. Is with the help of these 2 people, we have got to understand the operations of our simulator.
Okay.
So I'm going to introduce Linda to these 2 people, to be precise, to Mr. Kwe and Mr. Addison, and we're going to have Linda placed on the simulator to make her understand at first sight there's nothing impossible if you have the trust and the passion for it. Okay. And with my association, we're going to also link Linda up with some other professionals within this industry, to be precise at pilots. We're going to tell them this is what this young lady want to do. We don't know her background. Yes, we're going to get to know her background later. Thank God Linda know it's cost intensive.
Yeah.
We're not talking about cost intensive. Ask for what NASA can do as an association like that here. We're going to have Linda first touch the simulator. When progress are going on, we're going to have to try at least to understand how to use the simulator. Because in flying, you must first understand the takeoff and landing. Those are the 2 dangerous aspects in flying. So we will try our best to make Linda get the concept of taking off and landing an aircraft on our simulator.
Okay.
So right now, even I myself, I've learned how to take off and land on that simulator through the help of Mr. Kwe.
Okay.
Engineer Hampton Kwe.
So you mean that as much as it is a sitting machine, it is that difficult to operate?
It is not difficult.
No,
it carries determination.
No, but it's difficult to operate because you've been in the industry for a couple of years now and you're still grooming yourself in it. And you just started mastering.
Right.
So it's more, again, although it is sitting, but it's virtually built, but that same physical processes that you will use
to take off,
it's the same thing that you are going to be using your brain to apply.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And thank God for the builders who built that machine. Every buttons that needs to be done or needs to be touched, rather, before an aircraft takes off is placed on it as well.
Wow.
So you're going to go through the same process, and the person will call it the checklist. They're not going to go through a checklist. First, the owner said to vet her to know the real Lena within her, not the Lena from high school, the Lena that is ready for the aviation world. We're going to go through that process. We have our checklist for that. We have gotten to receive that real Lena. Go through another checklist on the simulator, wherein Lena going to feel herself taking off an airplane and landing it.
Wow.
So we accept Lena first, then we receive Lena with whole heart. And these are kind of people we're looking for. And you'll be surprised. It's not Lena the first person coming out industry like this. As association like this. Many young people have called. Darius, I want to do this, but I don't know how. Find out X, Y, and Z. We invite them. If you go on my Facebook page or you go on our association Facebook page, we see a couple of young people of tender age. We invite them, we bring them over to the simulator, they sit and go through and we carry them through the simulator. Sometimes we go to those operators at the airfield. You know, we have some of those operators at the airfield who has aircraft back there. We appeal to them because everything we do, we appeal. We appeal to them to have these young people sit within this aircraft, to see themselves seated in an aircraft. You're going to be precise and surprised, bro. Some young people like us, for the day they were born, they have not seen an airport. They are not touch an aircraft. Although our industry is growing, is struggling, but they are not seeing an area that is called an airport.
Yes, your institution is doing quite an amazing job. But then the reality is a lot of people will go through that process. They will have the zest, you stimulated them by the usage of the simulator and everything. Yes, still, I think there some of the challenges therein will still be the fact that if they want to fast forward or expand their studies, they will still be pressed by financial difficulties.
Right.
What is NASA or working to do in said direction to ensure that at least that institution can start to boast of some international scholarships for students?
Yeah.
Because after going through all of these brush up trainings,
Right.
the reality is you have to go out there to go through the actual to go through the actual study process. And there where parents will not be in a position and children will still have to rethink, okay, as much as I did this and I decided to do this and I went through the brush up process, I'm still stuck at this point with finance, and it's difficult for me having to help. You, for one, and Hina, were fortunate to have had the opportunity.
Yeah.
What is NASA doing to maximize the same opportunity that unveiled itself for you, that it can go down to several other aspiring individuals who wants to venture in the industry?
Sure. You see, we are talking about why would I zero your question in getting scholarships for young people. What my association is doing. In regards to that, we are struggling to get some international scholarship for aviation. Remember, aviation is kind of a bit expensive, and having scholarships from those aviation bodies globally is slim. However, we are appealing, we are still requesting the national government to give us attention through the working arms of the Liberian Civil Aviation Authority and the Liberian Airports Authority. Those authorities, to be precise, the LCA, those authorities always have some international programs, be it scholarship, be it fellowship, all of those programs, be it workshops, training, and for young people.
Have your institution received any form of recognition and support from the Liberian government?
Facts be told, not at all.
No.
For
Let me
individuals,
let me restate this question.
Mhm.
And let me restate it with a few more other words, right?
Right.
Liberia, the Liberian government is aware that there is not any aviation institution here.
Exactly.
And there is this young individual who is going above and beyond himself, even though the opportunity that unveiled itself was none of government.
Mhm.
However, returned to Liberia and started to contribute immensely to the nation's growth and development by giving back what he's learned through his own selfless effort.
Right.
Have you engaged the government since you started your work?
1 million plus, yes.
Has your institution received any form of support or recognition from the Liberian government?
Not at all.
Why do you think would be the reason?
The reason that I can't tell either, because from 2018 to now, we have engaged the national government, the Liberian Civil Aviation Authority, we have engaged them, the Liberian Airports Authority, we have engaged them, and other governmental bodies, even the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We have engaged as far as the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Youth and Sports. We have engaged all of these governmental bodies. We went as far as the office of the highest ranking in the country, not yet. The office
You submitted a letter to the office of the president, and
Sorry?
not yet. You said
we have written communications
to the office of the president.
to the office of the president, the office of the first lady, the office of the vice president, the office of the speaker, even the office of the pro tempore.
You have written a letter
We
to
have
President
written-
George Manawia.
Letters.
Have you submitted a letter to the office of the speaker?
I repeat, the office of the speaker, we have written communications, the office of the president, the office of the vice, the office of the speaker, the office of the president.
And for how long? What was the duration of this you're talking about?
From 2018 until now, we have been doing that. I remember it came a time where my team and I went at the office of the vice president. We had an appointment. Unfortunately for us, back then, I don't know if the vice president was in country at that time, but I remember hearing a voice like a verse, just for me to receive a tip on my back that the vice president is not in the office. You had rescheduled this meeting. My team members and I were like, "Are you serious of what you're saying?" However, we have reached out senior government officials and no recognition from them. But praise God for some individuals who are also senior government officials who started giving us attention.
So the government as a body has not supported you.
Not at all.
But then individuals within the government who have come to understand the significance of what you are doing is coming to your aid.
Yes, it's in the process of coming to our aid.
I don't intend to make this show political in any way.
Please don't go out there.
Yes, I don't intend to make this show political in any way. But as a Liberian, the reason why people always misinterpret everything as politics and because people don't know that each and every one of us are Liberians.
Right.
We don't want to wake up. I mean, every Liberian, 90% of the Liberian population, if they have the opportunity, will leave Liberia and never return.
Sure.
A sickness of very bad leadership.
Exactly.
We should not be talking about, I was, when I'm in conversations with my friends, I said, do you people not realize something? That most of the foreigners, when they are coming here, they're either coming as business people, expats, or they coming as tourists.
Right.
How many Germans and Americans do you even hear Germans, Americans, Kenyans telling that they come here for citizenship? They want to migrate. Have you ever heard that word, migration, going with any of these people?
Impossible.
They come here as experts, international diplomats, and everything.
Right.
In our very own countries, most of the jobs that we have. Okay, this is Liberia.
Right.
We don't live the best life in Mamba Point.
No.
The foreigners live the best life in Mamba Point. We don't live the best. We don't enjoy Liberia the best way possible. Sometimes we tight on budget. When we even go to the very Royal Grand Hotel, we have to be squeezing budget. Maybe we went to 20, we carry 50, and whereas the foreigners who you say they are foreigners and they are not the ones who own the land, they are the ones who enjoy it. But then you have something very serious.
Yeah.
You listen to all of these stakeholders, all of these actors, and different from different angles of the government. They always engage the media on how very serious they are, their commitment to education, for youth development, and all of these things. And then the reality is not so. But let's leave it. I don't want to go down.
And sorry to cut you off. I remember in one of my engagements with some senior government official, I won't call their name. That person was bold to tell me you speak out Liberian woman picking. The country I get nothing to get okay. The country I get plain said, what are you wasting your time for?
You see that?
Do different thing. I told that person, I said, sir, I'm sorry. If you cannot help, don't come. And that was all. And from the day I left that person's office, I've never again ring that phone. People are going back to the office. But however, let me give credit to a few.
Yeah, I want you to name the names of the people who are contributing.
Yeah, like with references to the former Deputy Director of Technical Affairs at the Liberia Revenue Authority, Mrs. W. King Saki. She's one of the persons who have been pushing the platform of Nassau, is still pushing the platform of Nassau. Equally so, let me give reference to the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia, Major General Prince Johnson. He's one of the person who's always ready to listen to us.
Okay.
In that case, there was a Chief Nassau, he said, yeah, maturing, let's talk. And he's always there, trying to find means out of no way to push the platform of Nassau forward. Equally so, the Deputy minister for administration at the Ministry of Defense. He been doing his best. He was one of the person at our initial stage who opened the doors to us as well, started listening to us. And beside those people that my memory can capture at the moment, I cannot recall any other government official. We engaged the Ministry of Education
on educational matters. Rare educational matter.
It didn't work. Because we understood that the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Liberia Civil Aviation Authority are entities, governmental entities that always have programs, international programs for young people, especially the Liberia Civil Aviation Authority and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Because these are two entities that have foreign programs for young people within the country. But nothing at stand. Perhaps maybe in the nearest future something will happen. I don't know. But for now, nothing yet.
Like I said, I don't want to make your conversation, your very great conversation but direct between me and you. It is a disgrace on the part of all of our leaders that you've engaged in with the level of work that you've done. That is 1,000,000% void of politics, strictly of nation building. And the president, the speaker, and other individuals have not paid attention to it. This is the recklessness we talk about in our society, but I will respond to it on another platform. What is the future of Nassau?
The future of Nassau, firstly, as I said at my introductory statement, Nassau foresee herself owning the first ever after post-war Liberia, the first ever aviation academy in the country in the nearest future.
Wow, but it's not. I don't see that. I don't see that impossible. In a very short space of time, you've had a simulator. You and another individual came here for further studies, and you continue to engage. You are creating the excitement for aviation within the Liberian public as much as you've received zero recognition support from the Liberian government. You still continue to thrive. I don't see you people having aviation academy as a challenge. I don't see it impossible. The challenges will always unveil itself, but for the fact that you could leave Liberia, not thinking the fact that you will be slaughtered, and just you're looking at just going to go and hop in Christ Embassy Church. That was the only thing you had your mind fixed on, and you were leaving Liberia. You left this country with only the mindset that, okay, as I'm going to sleep in Christ Embassy. I'm going to sleep in Christ Embassy. But then the good old Lord had another plan. No, my son, for the fact that you've taken a step of faith, you're not going to sleep in Christ Embassy. I'm preparing a home for you, and you'll be well received. So So what are other things that Nassau will be? Nassau look forward to achieving in the near future.
The next thing, we are still appealing to our national government and foreign partners to have young people, young brains sent over.
You talk about foreign partners. Don't you think if you engage in Nigerian embassy, UNDP, the U.S. embassy, our development partners, don't you think that, even it may be a slow process, but it's going to yield a faster fruit than you using the government? This is why I'm saying this. A fellow did a book in which I co-edited all of his books. He took this book all around. So how did I even get in touch with my boss? Andrew Temi at Street Child. He reached out to him and said, this guy wants some help, so I want you to please sit with him. So I said, what's the problem? So it was like, I did some books. I want for you to please look at it for me. I said, I'm not. Do you trust that I can do it? I can edit book well. So, but then God be God, we did the work. So we both tried to do restructure and everything. So I said, how do you intend to let this book out to the public? he said, "Oh, by the time we're done with it, I think what I would do, as much as I would just continue by being engaging few representatives, I've been engaging lawmakers, and let me say, senators, people in the Ministry of Education." I said, "That's not going to go anywhere."
That's right.
I said, "How many times have you done it?" He said, "Times with our number." I said, "It's not going to go anywhere." So first and foremost, you have. So it's educative. So when we did, in fact, the books are very good book.
Okay.
So when he brought the books forward, I said, all of these things relate to our society.
Right.
Take this idea where people would appreciate it.
Right.
Go to the development partners.
Right.
Go to UNDP. Go to all of the international development partners. Engage them. Tell them the idea of your work. Do not put money in front of it. Tell them you only want them to see how best these folks can reach out to schools. As much as what you've done, you need some resources. So when we did it, I'm sitting at my house the other day, and at work, he called me for lunch. So he said, "Ernest, what you want to eat?" I said, "No, I don't think I really want to eat." He said, "No, just eat. Take anything you want." So I'm like, What's going on? He said, "God sent you."
God sent you.
I said, "What do you mean?" So he's like, "All of these people I went through, they all let me down. When you guided me on what to do, I even guided him, gave him tips on what to write and all of that. We brainstormed, we were able to come with something. I said, okay, you draft and carry. The Nigerian embassy showcased his book on one of the exhibitions and facilitated the process of over 100 copies. Another institution, international institution, took in the books, and he was amazed.
Wow.
So take your work to the international development partner. For now, we are a country, but with a bunch of serious people. People don't really understand what governance is. So, you're doing so much to get so little.
Exactly.
So I think on my own kind of contribution, I would give to you is the fact that look at international development partners. You've done so much. The setup is there. Your work is in the public. It is visible. So I think the institution and you and your team of workers now need to engage, keep the international development partners. Is a disgrace. It still tells us that we are a nation that continues to beg outside, and the government is not in a position to propel the effort of the people. But how be it? That's the political aspect.
Right.
Pursue aspect that will help your institution to realize its full potential.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sure. And actually, to be precise, we started that, but government policy, like international partners, like some of the foreign embassies and what have you, we communicated with a couple of them, with the exception of our surrounding nations' embassies are in the country. Just we will few of those embassies. At the end of the day, some to us, we cannot work with private organizations on the government agreement that we run. So okay, thank you, sir. And we engage some international partners again, like NGOs.
Mm-hmm.
Yet the same, some didn't respond to our communication. Some says, "I'm sorry, we don't have." We created a project that, as I titled it, publishing aviation education across Liberia. That's our project title. We have tried our best to engage other people, but not in yielding fruits. However, like within the Bible, when Jesus told the fishing man, he said, "Drop your net in the deep," and he said, "I have toiled all night long, but at your will I do."
Mm-hmm.
So, with your piece of advice, we're going to go back to our drawing board. And we'll need you again.
Persist.
To have you also help us with some pieces of advice.
Yeah, persist.
Some ingredients.
I'm not just me, the entire Foca TV team, the Team Andy family, we all here. We will fight this battle together.
And that's what we've long been yearning for. Because let me tell you something, bro. NASA is standing like a blind man within the darkness. What am I saying? NASA do everything. All of our operations regarding NASA is done by NASA herself.
You're self-funded, 100%.
Not me as an individual.
I mean, the institution,
sure.
self-funded. Apart from these other few individuals.
Coming from some senior brother, senior sister.
You guys are strong.
Just NASA himself. But let me give credit to a couple of persons before I leave you. Um, the Liberty Aviation Group, they have been serving as our parent company. It's a Liberian-owned business. It's an aviation company. They have been serving as our parent company and sponsoring all of our programs. All of our programs. They have been sponsoring our program until now. They are still sponsoring. So I want to say thank you to the Liberty Aviation Group. I also want to say thank you to the team from abroad. Reason I'm always talking about these people because they have nothing to lose if they reject our appeal. Absolutely. But these people make it a business to sponsor our programs. So let me say thank you to Anthony Maggie, John Oliver Mark, Josh Matima, and the rest of the team. Even Anne. Let me give reference to a few ladies again. The team that came recently that gave us a simulator, they had 3 ladies, 2 flight attendants and a mechanic. These ladies have never, 2 of them have never come to Africa before.
This is it. I've been playing this documentary for the public, playing this documentary, and now we've just in it in doing our wrap up time and listening to the lady who talked about never coming to Liberia before, all of that.
Yes.
What is this documentary about?
This documentary is about teaching ourselves, our young people, that as long as you have the passion to do whatever you want to do, you believe that you can do it, you can do it. The head of that team, Anthony Maggie, is a Liberian. He was in Isaac A. David. According to him, his instructor, his teacher, when he was in the 3rd grade elementary teacher, always asked, "Why do you want to do that?" The teacher would say, "Hey, shut up, man."
Like the same thing in
the same thing.
here.
The same thing. He said, "Shut up, why are you not breaking plane? Why you wasting your time for people you're going to
Many years after,
fast forward,
he's a pilot.
Same story with his colleagues from other African nations. With them, it was an act of finance. Then to this lady who said her first time in Liberia, 2 of them. One flight attendant who is dark in complexion, with the mechanic who has a t-shirt and who wore a t-shirt.
Yeah, I saw that.
The mechanic from the city of Panama, Republic of Panama. She migrated from Panama, went over to the US and became an aircraft mechanic. Her first time in Africa, to be precise, in Liberia. The dark colored lady who is flight attendant also is her first time in Africa, to be precise, in Liberia. The other fair lady, she has a trip that always from the US come to Accra. That's a route.
Okay.
That's a flying route. She's a attendant also. real life. Because all through we see it maybe in movie, or we see it on picture, we see a pilot in his uniform. But real life to see a pilot, especially a Liberian. And not just Liberian, but 2 Liberians were there.
Wow.
So
I mean, with this conversation will continue more and more and more. It was just 3 minutes into time now for us to close. So this what would you like to say finally as parting statement just for today? Because with what you've pulled out in the public today, I know that there's just so much that we'll have to discuss moving onward. But for today, closing and to close up this conversation, what is your own parting comment?
first, let me be grateful to the focal party in Cincinnati for inviting us to talk a little bit about involvement in the student community. That's 1, 2. Let me say thank you to my team from Nassau and also those individuals who have given us listening ears within the Liberian borders to push the platforms of Nassau forward. Let me be grateful to those people from abroad who are trying to push us forward, like those fathers who are serving as mentors for Nassau herself, not for Darius himself.
Yeah.
And let me appeal. This is
Another appeal to the Liberian government.
to the Liberian government.
Yeah.
Let me appeal to the Liberian government, directly to the office of Liberian Civil Aviation Authority. I'm appealing to you, please listen to us. Give us those opportunities that are on your desk. We know they are there. It's not like we don't know. We know there are opportunities on the desk of the Liberian Civil Aviation Authority. Please give those opportunities to young people through NASA platform. You can go on your vetting process, but allow the young people who have a passion to benefit from those opportunities.
And I hope that other meaningful people can really participate. And one of the good things I think I did was that I shared this live on my LinkedIn page.
Okay.
So I mean, anyone, it could not be today, it could not be tomorrow. Anyone will see this and just reluctantly try to turn it on to listen to catch a listen. We never know what could happen, but all the best. Hosting today has been one of my, since it started, today has been one of my best interactions so far. Not for the fact that I know you, but because you bring in a whole new innovation to the table. Right. Foca Online TV is all about celebrating, discussing, and brainstorming innovation. So I want to say thank you, Darius. Thank you for taking time off today for us to have this 2-hour-long conversation. Right. And thanks to the entire team. We look forward, and I will look forward to seeing you on Friday. Definitely. After which we're going to formally introduce you to Linda. Okay. Moving forward from there, because right after the awards night, in fact, they're going to be with us for an entire 10 months period, going through different sets of training. So that in itself could be an addition to Linda's 10-month training, ambassador training with us. So thank you very much. And I look forward to more of this again.
Exactly. And thank you.
The brave Darius. The fearless Darius.
Yeah.
It was nice having you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
My name is Anthony McGee, and I am a pilot of United Airlines based in Newark, New Jersey, flying the Boeing 737 series. Today, I'm in West Africa, Liberia. It is so surreal because this is where I first fell in love with aviation. This is where my story starts, from a very humble beginning. Nevertheless, I'm here today with aviation professionals who are pilots, flight attendants, and aircraft mechanics. These professionals will be sharing their passion with these young men and women. And hopefully, by sharing their stories, these young men and women will be propelled to go after what they want to do in life.
My trip to Liberia was truly an amazing experience. Delivering a message of hope and spending time with the children, seeing their faces light up with their beautiful smiles, was heartwarming and unforgettable. I'm grateful and humbled to have been a part of this incredible journey. Our team of aviation professionals were outstanding. I'd like to thank Anthony McGee and John Mbag for organizing this venture and look forward to joining them on future events.
I had the pleasure of flying with First Officer Anthony McGee, who was then based in San Francisco. On that flight, he shared with me something he's been doing for the last 5 years, going back to the continent of Africa, where he's from, and giving back to the children and people there. After watching the We Were Once Them video, the first thing I said was, where can I sign up? How do I get involved? I'm not originally from Africa, but I'm all about giving back. This job at United is one I've not taken for granted in my 33 years. I realized, what's the point of having a job that you love and you don't share it with others? I'm so blessed this was how I had my first experience.
Going to Liberia was not only a life-changing trip for me, but to have the opportunity to give back and share my experience and influence and inspire some girls to pursue their dreams, and they could understand that they can be anything they want has no price.
We were able to dedicate a NFAA-approved simulator to the National Aviation Student Association of Liberia, NASAL, giving those brothers and sisters the first step within the aviation. We truly believe, the team and I, that the first step that were given to the new generation of the aviation leaders will propel them to the future. And Africa is heavily pregnant with talent. We would love everybody to support the journey and stay tuned to the next step.